How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I'm your host, Faze Crypto, and headlines today we've got cryptocurrencies shed 10 billion in an hour on worries over stablecoin Tether. And of course, I think that this will be a pretty interesting way to start off the video. And of course, now although flash crash, in the space when it comes to altcoins, is on the point of a lot of conversations that are happening. I'm personally not worried about where exactly these altcoins are going to go, just because when I look into basically the current activity that's been happening with Bitcoin, you look at how these things basically look, and it's interesting to see. We had the Bitcoin drop, just like any other crypto, but then just basically came up. That I'm sure that there were plenty of people who were able to make some gains buying on the dip, and selling on the highs. But of course, when it comes down to this Tether controversy, it is interesting to see how these sort of news items are able to shape the public conversation about the confidence people have. It's so fickle when it comes to cryptocurrency and all these different things. And of course, I think that this is interesting. It's a good segue to start talking about one of the major themes that I think has been a reoccurring element in the cryptocurrency space, which is now mainly designed around the altcoin conversation. I think that nobody's really going to question. Of course, with Bitcoin dominance being at 54.6%, the market cap at 169. And of course, the top performers. At the time making this video, we got DigiX, of course, Maximine Coin, Bitcoin SV. But for the most part, a lot of the cryptos are pretty much in the red. Now, of course, the ones getting hit the hardest at this time, we got like ARK, Nano, the usual suspects there. And I think that right now, this is a pretty interesting time to start talking about the underlying things that are happening that behind the scenes when it comes to the overall trajectory of where we can expect this space to go from here on out. Although I do have a point to make about the fact that Bitcoin's been able to maintain itself at 5,000. That's good. Well and aware at the same time. This could change interdependently on the variables that are really set to shift at any key juncture. But to that same effect, I think that we do have some interesting signals that are pretty much. I just spent 40 minutes in front of the wealthiest families to explain Bitcoin. They're listening. The sentiment is changing. I think that that's an interesting tweet right there. Relatively new, and it sort of does highlight. Everything that I see is sort of just I see a lot of these things as just hiccups in the road and opportunities to accumulate. Those are two very important themes. But now just take a look at this right here. This is interesting. Now I'll just leave it up on the screen. If you guys want to go track it down yourself, pretty much right now. Now I not phased one single bit. We look at trend lines. This trend line has flipped to resistance, and now we're currently facing it now. This is an interesting little graph as well. But of course, we do need to keep in mind the fundamentals. Bitcoin has no CEO. It has no fancy offices. It has no marketing department. It's raised $0 from venture capitalists. Yet it's worth $100 billion in just 10 years. Bitcoin example of why product market fit is the only thing that ultimately matters. And I think that that's a pretty good way to pretty much summarize. What I think it can serve to be an underlying theme, pretty much a running theme behind this video. I mean, although we might see the altcoins getting dramatically hit left and right, I'm not at any point going to really feel shaken. Now when it comes down to it, I see a lot of this stuff is just par for the course, and with the risk of sounding like a cryptocurrency person who's just always thinking on the I'm always thinking on the positive side. When a lot of people out there are they're essentially unable to look past a lot of the media FUD and all these different things that we see. But I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're probably fairly in the know when it comes to these different things. Personally, I'm sticking to my own perspective when it comes to these things. And I'm pretty excited about where we can expect the cryptocurrency space to be going. And of course, we're going to see hiccups in the road on a day-to-day basis, but overall, I am pretty excited with that $5,000 Bitcoin. I think people are quick to get adjusted to the developing norms in the cryptocurrency sphere, unable to really look past a lot of the different variables that are happening behind the scenes, which I think is a real shame, because I think that when it comes down to it, we've got cryptos like Cardano, we've got things that are really shaping up to be some pretty excellent projects, and I'm very excited to see how a lot of these different projects, smart contracts, to a lot of these different things are really shaping out to be pretty interesting entities. We've got XRP now doing its thing, and I'm very excited to see where April, May, June, the rest of 2019 is going to take us. Of course, we've got a couple articles as well to cover over here. With the time left in this video, we've got this article I think is worth dedicating some time to. Major crypto exchanges record 30% volume growth in Q1 2019. Just to give you an idea of how far we've actually come, funding approves, of course, the audit, for Ethereum's Prog Pow mining protocol. Of course, I know this has raised up a interesting conversation in the space. Of course, Ethereum developers announced today that funding has been approved for to audit the hotly contested code, and of course, proof of work coming into that dialogue as well, which is of course something that we need to keep on the radar. And of course, paying attention to these things always does help, to that same effect. And of course, crypto winter forces you to ask the right questions, and a sentiment that I feel obliged to agree with to a certain extent. International tobacco companies wishes to save money to switch to blockchain. This is pretty cool. Just going to show that these big companies out there have all the variables. They're looking at this stuff just the same way that we are. And the fact that big tobacco is looking to save money, is really no surprise, and I'm pretty excited to see how their implementation with blockchain and all these different things is going to be really shaping up. The firm is looking to use technology to track tax stamps on cigarette boxes, as confirmed by the firm's spokesperson to a leading crypto publication. Definitely go and check this out, because it does sort of give us a vision into the future of what we can expect to see on how blockchain is really going to be revolutionizing a lot of the different elements that might not be foreseeable at the current point. But I think as these things really come into their own, we'll be seeing some pretty interesting things. Bitcoin has been rejected the past 50 weeks at 5,477 in July 2015, and the same thing happened. Capitulated, resting previous lows. It wasn't until October 2015 BTC found acceptance above its rare market. Will play out exactly as it did before, but I think that it is always interesting. I know a lot of people out there are going to be typing in a comment right now talking about how cryptocurrency, we don't have an ability to learn from the past, but I think that it's important to pick up as many lessons as we can, as many indications of what we can expect to see, and I'm pretty much trying to flesh out my perspective, and of course like anybody else in this world, trying to understand how these different variables are going to mesh together. But of course, remember, if you guys are interested, make sure that you guys connect with us on our Twitter. That's at CryptoTuber. As always, interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, this video is, like I said, not financial advice. Of course, remember, I'm not your dad. So of course, make sure that you guys do your own due diligence. Make sure that you do your own research. Come to your own conclusions about this stuff. But yeah, overall, I am pretty excited about the future of Bitcoin. Amid these controversies, I just see it as us pretty much as a community, trying to keep things in check. Which of course we need to continue to see it continue to go like that. It's pretty much we need to come to a consensus between the perspectives that are on all different sides of the aisle, which of course is something that's pretty visible today. But all that being said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope you found it educational. I spend hours every single day just researching, obsessing really about the future of these different technologies and how they can really service different elements of my wallet. In all seriousness, I am excited to see how these different things are going to be playing a pretty big role in changing the way that business is conducted and all from here to there. I think that we all understand the significance of these things, and it's important to keep an eye out for it. But of course, high risk does come with that high reward, of course, and vice versa. But all that being said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, found it educational. I think this has been pretty good talk. It's always interesting to put out these videos and hear the response. But I think that we've been doing pretty good to create quality content for you guys, which is really all that matters. So make sure that you guys subscribe, comment down below, let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys next video. Have a good one.